Welcome to Let's Face the Facts. I'm David Almeida, and I'm your host for this rewatch podcast for the classic sitcom The Facts of Life. I'm an actor in Orlando, Florida, and every week I bring you some of the greatest talent in the Central Florida arts community. Join us as we synopsize, analyze, criticize, and ultimately idolize the show, episode by episode. Well, here we are again. It's another week. I don't know where the time is going. Considering I haven't worked since March, there are many days where I am just shocked at how quickly the time passes. It's really amazing. But during that time, I am really grateful to have the podcast to do, and I am very happy you tuned in. Thank you so much for being here. My guest this week is James Honey. James is an actor, a writer, a director. He does improv, he does sketch comedy, he does everything. And he is just super fun, nice, sweet, amazing. I love working with him, and I'm so glad I got him on the show. And I hope you enjoy him as much as I do. And before we get started, I have to give a shout out to listener Rebecca T. Rebecca is a new Tutti Frutti, as in one of the people sponsoring the show through Patreon. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome to the family. If you want to be like Rebecca and support the show, you can go to patreon.com/facethefactspod, and you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. Now, moving on to this week's show. James Honey and I watched Season 5, Episode 9, Small But Dangerous. And the original air date was November 16th, 1983. I pre-warned you last week that I did not like this episode, that I had expected I was going to hate it as much as I did when it first broadcast. And yeah, absolutely. And not only do I hate the show, I really hate the character of Kelly. And I guess this is a trigger warning or an obscenity warning or whatever. I'm not afraid to drop a C-bomb here and there. Well, James and I drop a lot of them in this show. So, I'm not typically apologetic for my potty mouth language and my snarky, middle-aged, bitchy queen point of view. But I do want to at least acknowledge that I'm aware we do say it probably more here than I ever have in the past. So that is happening, and I think we can get through this together, and you might even agree with me. So, are we ready to jump on in? Let's face the facts with James Honey. Ladies and gentlemen, via Zoom, via the interwebs and modern technology, the man, the myth, the legend, it's James Honey!
Hello, everybody. I'm not a singer.
Good to have you here, my darling.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you sang that. Are you a singer? Do you sing? I'm trying to think if I've ever known you to be like a musical guy.
I absolutely adore musicals. I can carry a tune in a bucket, as they say. But I am not. I've never characterized myself as a singer. I'm an actor who can sing, but I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a vocalist.
James, we have watched were you able to watch the episode prescribed to you before we tuned in tonight?
Of course I did. My goodness.
So did you watch the show in the first go round? Were you into the show?
I very much was, as a teenager, pre-teenager, a tweenager. I was initially, and I wanted to ask you this too, because I've listened, long-time listener, but I haven't seen, I haven't heard every episode of the show, but I absolutely adore it.
And I didn't know you listened.
Of course I do.
Oh, wow, that's sweet.
Oh my God. No, you're terribly entertaining, and I love the show, and I love working in and around any of your adventures. But I did get caught into the show, if that was your question. I got brought into the show via Different Strokes, like so many others did.
Mm-hmm.
I was an avid fan of Different Strokes, and when this was coming, I was like, Mrs. Garrett's leaving? Where the hell could she possibly be going? Oh,
it's only been one season, and then barely got to know her.
It's going to be right next door, at least initially. It's going to be right after this show. So now I have an hour's block worth of watching before they started moving it all over the damn schedule. But
Mm-hmm.
I was in. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to learn so much about not only life but about the female psyche. This is going to be. Thank you, Edna Garrett. This is going to be
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. It wasn't exactly that, but I did think the first season was uh, wildly messy and inconsistently shown, so it was hard to keep
Mm-hmm.
track of everything. And
Yes,
then when
true.
season two came along, I'm like, hey, who's this Joe girl? She
Mm-hmm.
she talks like my neighbors. I like that girl.
Yes.
Being from New Jersey.
I always ask my straight male guests,
Mm.
who was the girl you were most into?
Wow, man. I got to say it was Joe through and through. I mean, Blair's
Mm-hmm.
pretty enough and so forth, and all the girls were lovely, but they also seemed, even though I myself was young, they Natalie and Tootie always seemed too young for me. If I was going to
Yeah.
shoot for somebody, if I'm going to be swinging for the fences and I'm way outside of my league, I might as well go. I might as well go for the older, more experienced gal anyway. And
Yeah. But Joe is, I mean, typically it seems that most straight guys,
mm,
I've said this before, most straight guys you would think they'd be, oh, pretty Blair, she's the hot one, the
mm.
blonde. And more often than not, the straight guys are like, Joe, because of her no nonsense, straightforward bluntness. It seems that
Yeah.
really was appealing to a lot of younger guys.
Though I've always appreciated the beauty and sensitivity and so forth of the fairer sex, I have two other criteria that just the way I'm built and what attracts me. And one of them, tomboys.
Mm-hmm.
Tomboys are
Sure.
much more. You've met my wife. The more
Yes.
interesting, they're much more. They're more apt to not worry about breaking a nail, to actually go out and have
Yeah.
fun in life. But they don't mind dressing up and prettying up here and there. But between that aspect of it and I realized pretty early on in life, if I'm going to actually be with a girl, I want somebody that I'm not going to have to rescue in a fight. I want somebody that's going to fight with me. I want a Princess Leia that's right there,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, geez, you got what you ordered, my friend. I told you I'm going to be bugging your lovely wife, the amazing Ginger Lee McDermott.
Yay.
I'm going to be bugging her next to be on the show because I'm fairly sure she will have a few choice things to say about it herself.
She has choice things to say about everything.
And I love that about her. So before we begin
Right.
the dissection of the episode, I always like to put my guests on the spot and ask if you would please give a 1 to 2 sentence synopsis, similar to what you might hear in a TV guide, to explain Season 5, Episode 9, Small but Dangerous.
I'm getting nervous. I mean, I've heard this. You've done this before, but here I have
Exactly.
I
I'm
have
like,
to,
you should know the drill,
I
dude.
have
You
to do
should.
this. The gals at Edna's face a threat from within and without.
Oh, wow. That is like, man, that's deeper than anything they've ever written in 9 seasons. Holy shit. That is great. So, the episode originally aired on November 16th, 1983. It was written by Andy Borowitz. This is his second of 5 episodes that he wrote for this show. He would go on to create The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So, he had bigger and better things coming up. And it was directed by Asad Kelada, who is the man who directed the majority of the Facts of Life's. So our first scene for this episode, it starts at the shop. We're at Edna's Edibles, and we have a policeman there, and it turns out there has been a problem with vandalism happening with the shop and the building, and it is disconcerting enough that Mrs. Garrett has contacted the police, and through the young girl, Kelly, who shows up at the store, we learn that there is a gang in Peekskill called the Lords of Discipline, and that she, because she is a poor kid from the wrong side of the tracks, will speak to them and see if she can help out. And that's pretty much what happens in that scene, plot-wise. But we've got a lot of things going on within it.
It does hit the ground right. I'm a big fan of starting in the middle, and in all kinds of shows and performances and so forth. And it not necessarily the Facts of Life formula. They didn't have a cold opening and then they'd run the
Yeah.
credits. They would just roll the credits and then hit the ground running with the
Well,
show.
usually you do have kind of a wind up, and then you would have had some type of an interaction
Mm-hmm.
of something, a few quips, and then it would have been, oh no, there's some more painting and graffiti on the side of the building. Well, I guess I should call the police. It's been getting to be a problem lately.
Right.
And no, we are already there. The cop is already there. This is the oddest name for a character. You wonder where writers get their names. This is Officer Ziakis. I think it's pronounced Ziakis.
Ziakis.
According to IMDb, it is Ziaukus. Very weird name.
He's a very Greek black man, apparently.
I was going to say, if it had an IS at the end, yeah, it was Ziakis next to Papadopoulos and Sarkeesian and all that stuff. But yeah, but the actor who plays him is an African-American actor. The actor is Larry Wilmore. Mm-hmm. Larry Wilmore was on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, usually in the role of the senior black correspondent.
Right on.
You mostly would recognize him if he had a shaved head and glasses and was a little more filled out physically. But here, by my research, he is 22 years old. He has a full head of hair. He's not wearing glasses. And the other thing is he is towering over the women.
He's huge. But he looks lighthearted the way he's playing the cop.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's a great performance. Now, I went and looked on the web. The web says that he's only 5'9", and I just don't think that's right. He's got to be taller than that. The girls, Mrs. Garrett is the shortest at 5 foot.
Okay.
And I think the tallest is Blair at 5'4", and all the others fall somewhere in between. And he is like a head and a shoulder taller than Kim Fields.
It's part of the mystery of 80s television. The camera adds 10 pounds and 7 inches in height. I think it's more true of the cameras they were using at the time than anything else. It's not
but
HD.
He does look especially tall, and maybe he is really tall, but for some reason he's not quite famous enough that his height is all over the internet.
Maybe he's lying about his height. That's that he wants to seem shorter so that people will hire him and he can just act shorter.
Here's the thing. He will be on 3 episodes total. This is the first appearance. He will be on 2 more. And currently, at the moment, the project he's been working on, he's done many, many things since The Daily Show, but he's the co-creator and producer of Insecure on HBO, which he co-created and co-produces with Issa Rae. That's been on for 4 seasons. It's already been renewed for a 5th. It's a show that follows the awkward experiences and racy tribulations of a modern-day African-American woman. And it is originally based on a web series that Issa Rae did called Awkward Black Girl.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Larry Wilmore also has a podcast called Larry Wilmore, Black on the Air. So bravo on him.
Indeed.
That this is where he started out.
Yeah. So taking sort of, yas. I'm trying to get my young kid slang in here. Yas.
Yes.
Yas, girl.
Yes, on fleek. On fleek.
Is that still a thing?
Is that... I'm sure it's not.
Fair enough.
Yes. Now, coming into this episode, James, I was already prepared that I was going to hate it because I do remember watching this the first time on network television when I was a freshman in high school, and it's going to happen later. But the way we are introduced to this character, played by Pamela Siegel, later known as Pamela Adlon. Did you recognize her?
I did recognize her, of course.
Better Things on
Better
FX.
Things on yeah. And she was in Grease too? That was
yes,
somebody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's why I always know.
That is absolutely, yeah, she's the kid in Grease too, yeah.
So we've had a long history together.
Oh, Pamela. Pammykins, of course. Yeah.
Pammy. Anybody with the last name Seagal or Seagal, except for Steven Seagal, because I can't say that.
You are not alone from what I hear. Yes. This is the really official. She's already made a quick appearance on the show before.
Yeah, she got like 3 episodes before this.
Joe catches her stealing stuff. But it's so fascinating because in a short bit, she is about to be very mean and do something very bad. And to me, from a writing standpoint, I remember watching it and thinking, no, that is unforgivable. I will never, ever accept her that she is ever reformed or good in any way, shape, or form.
Oh my heavens!
Because she is mean to Blair a little bit later, and goddamn, nobody is mean to my fucking Blair.
don't get ahead of the story though. This is
I know, and I'm the first one usually going, no, stop, slow down. I'm getting ahead of us.
Pump the brakes.
Okay,
it's enough that we refer back to that she had that appearance. Now, in TV time, that would have been a month or so earlier that we saw this girl who gets a credit at the beginning of the show.
A new regular, because it's like, good God, Tootie and Natalie are now 15 and 16, and that's way too old. We need more kids.
And like, who the hell is this broad? And she's in a scene, she steals something, she's gone. And like, why the hell does she get why does she get like above the creator credit to be on this damn show?
She's also in the Halloween episode. She just pops in and pops out where she's trying to grift some candy off of some neighborhood kids.
Ugh.
So the 2 times we have seen her before, she is a no-good-nick, a ne'er-do-well.
Yeah, she's a hood.
A hoodlum,
yes.
A ruffian youth, and I do not like it.
Rapscallion and a terrible, terrible, terrible faux Pat Benatar haircut.
Oh, yes. The hair is so, oh, my God.
It's rough.
But she comes into the store.
Just nonchalant, like she's not... Like,
nonchalantly, exactly.
She didn't get caught stealing like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and Joe kind of lays into her already like, hey, remember, you steal it, you bought it. Joe kind of lays into her and all that, and she doesn't like it. But then Joe leaves, is like, okay, guys, bye, go and do my thing, and letting her hang out. I mean...
She had deliveries to do. In her defense, she had deliveries to do.
In my opinion, it would be like, no, you came in the shop, you tried to steal something, go fuck yourself. Get out. Turn right around. You are not welcome here. We all have instructions to kick your ass to the curb, you little fucking piece of shit.
Fucking A, and that's Bronx rules right that. But Joe is learning. Joe is learning that where's Eastland again? Is up
Peekskill, New York.
Peekskill.
The mean streets of Peekskill, which have gangs apparently. Do you remember the name of the gang?
The gang is the Lords of Discipline.
The Lords of Discipline. Wow, what a heady, brainy name to give oneself if one is just a gang in the streets of Peekskill.
Yeah.
Do you know where this name comes from, James?
I know a place that it comes from, and I'm certain that it was not lost on the people who wrote this thing, that there's a book and a movie that came out in 1983, mind you.
You checked it. You looked it up as I did. It came out that year about a military educational institute where they are dealing with these harsh hazing rituals that really border on abuse and that are also racially driven.
Absolutely.
And motivated. And it was written originally, the book was written by Pat Conroy. Homosexuals will recognize the name Pat Conroy because he's the man who wrote The Prince of Tides, which would become the Barbra Streisand movie.
Which most people only know that it was a Barbra Streisand movie because nobody reads friggin' books anymore. Read a book.
Yeah.
Please. Maestro,
well, there's
if you will.
There's 2 other things before we leave here. Is that at one point Kelly, to sort of ingratiate herself to the remaining people, because Joe lays into her.
That is, yes.
But while she's doing it, she does a lot of flattering of Blair. She compliments Blair's hair. And Blair says something to the effect of, oh, well, I use this shampoo and I'm worth it. That is a reference, of course, to, it's L'Oreal,
L'Oreal, right? I think, yeah.
Yeah, L'Oreal hair salon, and I'm worth it.
There's so many lovely pop references strewn throughout this.
Yep, and another one immediately follows when they're talking about a gang, and Tootie says, you mean like a real gang? Like in Michael Jackson's Beat It video?
Yeah.
And Kelly says, yeah, but I think with fewer smoke machines.
Yeah.
That's a good line, really.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it is a good line. It's never short on one-liners, whether they fit the moment or not.
So where we've left this is that Mrs. Garrett is like, I think we'll let the police handle it. And Kelly's like, you know what? I'm still going to try to put in a good word for you. And her name, by the way, is Kelly Affinado, Affinado. So that's Italian. She's an Italian chick.
And she's clearly using a pronounced accent, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, Affinado, a little bit of a New York
Affinado, huh?
Yeah.
Is it Nado?
Hey.
No, it's Affinado.
Affinado. And if
And
I effing have to tell you how to effing pronounce it again.
you're going to effing regret it.
Exactly. Beautiful.
They haven't talked about her swiping the ham yet. That's coming in the next season.
Oh, they do. They talk about her swiping a ham.
Which I didn't see in any episodes that she's been in.
No, that
but
never
it doesn't
happened.
matter. It happened off camera, which is fine. And because her excuse is that, I'm sorry, my little brother looks like a ham. That's why she's...
Yeah. And it's like, but you should have already kicked her out. If there was another incident of stealing that we did not witness in the context of the show, why the fuck is she even allowed to set foot in the shop? She should be persona non grata.
This is the kind of... You take a Polaroid and stick it behind the cash register.
Oh my God, what a great idea. Yes. Anyhow, so we go on to the next scene now. We're still in the store. It's a little bit later the same day because they're all wearing the same clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a little quick comedic business at the beginning with a customer.
Please.
This guy.
Yes, this friggin' guy.
The joke is he says to Mrs. Garrett has got a plate and she's about to dish out. And she says, how much, I think it was chickens? No, pasta salad.
Pasta salad.
She says, how much pasta salad do you want? And he says, I would like 50 centiliters. And Mrs. Garrett says, oh, well, we sell it in pints and quarts. Is that okay? And he says, no, it's not okay. I've gone metric, and I'm not turning back. And he walks out of the shop.
And he is full of righteous indignation. This guy delivers it with full vitriol that it's like, and I am not going back. Yeah. And that's it. That's all we see in this guy. They're just making a social comment about the movement towards trying to go metric.
Yeah. And I mean, we were in the process of doing it. The 70s and the 80s was the time we as a society were trying. And of course, it never stuck.
If you know a Canadian person, let them explain it for you or do the math for you, because we're not changing anything about pounds and inches and everything else. I'm sorry.
Speaking of math and conversion, do you know how much 50 centiliters is, James?
50 centiliters. If I'm making this, actually.
Are you on your phone? Are you actually doing it on your phone?
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons?
No, I actually have a composition book with a conversion table in the back, and I was trying to look at it really quick. But I always carry a composition book with the cheat tables in them.
Oh, dude, you came that close to sounding really smart.
Thanks.
Wow.
Can you edit that part into me sounding?
Oh, that's staying. I'm not cutting that out. But no, that was such a valiant effort. It was.
It's
50 centiliters is, get this, it is 1.05669 pints. It is 1 pint plus
with 2 tablespoons.
With 2 tablespoons. Exactly. Because 0.05669 pints, it's not quite. So it's 2 cups or a pint plus not quite 2 tablespoons. And so it's like, she could have actually said, yeah, absolutely, sir. And just shoveled it into one of the pints and given it to him and been none the wiser.
Just had a little rounded top or something, but no.
Yeah.
They were making a very quiet political statement. That's what I think it is. That guy's a moron because he wants metric.
Uh-huh. Well, here's the thing, James. That guy is not a moron.
Why?
That guy is actor Bob Zudiker, Tzudiker.
Oh, that rings a bell.
He would go on to be a very well-known writer of many movies that we know very well. He wrote Newsies in 1992. He worked on the screenplay for The Lion King, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Anastasia, Tarzan, and 102 Dalmatians. Well, he wrote or co-wrote all of these animated classic movies.
Well, you could have left the 102 Dalmatians off, but other than that, that's really impressive.
In 3 weeks, he is going to be a customer. He is a returning customer to Edna's Edibles in the Christmas episode. So I can't wait to see that. So he is going to be back. This metric thing wasn't a complete turnoff.
Oh, it's
He's going to be like, the pasta salad, it's too fucking good. I got to go back, man. I got to get my hit. So after this customer leaves, Kelly comes back. Tootie and Natalie are cleaning the store. She offers to help them clean. It's like, oh, isn't that so nice? And she says she talked to the gang, and hopefully that will help. And then Kelly asks the question that many people ask when they tune into the Facts of Life for the first time in this season. She turns to Mrs. Garrett and says, so what's the deal with this place? Is it a halfway house?
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, you're not wrong for wondering that. Absolutely. Because sometimes it does feel like one, as Mrs. Garrett says.
Yes, it does.
So thankfully, she explains the show. I used to be a dietitian if you're just tuning in, episode 9 of this season, I used to be the dietitian over at Eastland, and they were my students, and blah, blah, blah. So in the course of helping Tootie and Natalie with cleaning the store, this is where we get a little bit of Kelly's backstory. And we learn that she has 7 brothers and sisters. Her dad's been out of work for 2 years. They've been on welfare. They're living in one room, sleeping in the same bed, a big-time sob story. And so they figure since she's been so nice and talking to the gang and helping them clean up, Tootie and Natalie, who were already planning to go to a movie, offer to take her to the movies with them.
Yes.
And she accepts first with, okay, I'll sneak in the back and meet you. And they're like, no, we will pay for you. And good line, good delivery, gets a laugh where she says, okay, but I insist, I'm stealing the popcorn.
Yes.
Good line.
It was a very good line. And
yes.
you accidentally, I'm sure, slipped past the fact that they were on the clock with the cleaning. They only had 15 minutes before the white glove test was going to happen. And if they didn't pass the white glove test, they didn't get to go to the movies.
Yeah, Mrs. Garrett was cracking the whip. And
she's clearly flustered from this gang violence.
Exactly. And as I said a couple weeks ago, when inventory was the most goddamn important thing, in this episode, this cleaning and dusting thing, it's like, the shop's been open for 2 months at this point. How fucking dusty could it be? Jesus.
Well, she's buying a lot of. She's brought in a lot of crap that nobody wants. Let's face it.
I guess so.
It's a simple town. They don't need truffles. They don't need cans of. What was she swiping?
Was it pickles or relish or?
Well, I mean,
like
in the
that?
Previous episode, she got
yeah, I can't remember either.
What's that? Fish eggs. What are the fish eggs things that rich people eat? Yeah, she swiped cans of caviar. It's like nobody. Nobody Peekskill is gonna go down.
Exactly.
Oh, we're running low on caviar. Let's go down to Edna's and pick up a couple of cans.
Yeah. And then let's not even get into the whole, it's a quote unquote gourmet food store. That's what they've called it.
Yeah.
To give them wide enough berth to have her make it. It's a bakery, but it's also a sub shop. But she's also a butcher because she stuffs her own sausages there.
Yeah.
And when you call it Edna's Edibles, as Matthew Arter has said many times, it also has to be a drug front. It's just got to be.
Yes.
So they've got a lot of shit going on.
She's got bills to pay. Don't be judging Miss Garrett. She lived in the big city before she moved up here. She got connections.
But it's like it started because she makes she makes good strudel. It's like that's about it, really. It's it really could have should have been a bakery.
Once you make your mark, you never know which direction they want to go.
Yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much.
I mean, I guess it's okay. The Halloween episode we just did with the stuffing of the sausages and the meat. I really feel like that was you need to stay in your lane, bitch. Really. Well, I'm just gonna say it.
What's Mrs. Garrett's extraction from? Where is she? What's her family history? What's her?
It's of course very Midwestern.
No, girls, I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. You did your Mrs. Garrett impression for me. I haven't really done it this episode yet. I gotta get busy here.
Well, get busy.
Yeah. Oh, I have one. Actually, I know there's a great one coming up. There's a good one. Great Mrs. Garrett talkie moment coming up. So, next scene. We are still in the store. We have not left the store this entire act, but it is a different day because Blair has on a different blouse. Joe brings in a trash can that is dented. And Blair's like, oh, it's got to be the gang again. Joe's like, there's no fucking gang. After my deliveries today, this is where Joe says, after my deliveries, I'm going to check it out and hit the streets, use my street smarts and
If there was
get
a gang,
on their tail.
Yeah, she said if this is a Spider-Man reference that she actually says, if there was really a gang here, I think my street smarts would be tingling. I'm like,
yeah,
that's
yes. Right. Spider sense. Yeah, exactly.
My street smarts would be tingling. I'm like, She next Spider-Man, I'm even deeper into you and your headband / ponytail. Talk to me.
Enter Kelly again. It's like, Jesus Christ. And this time, Joe lays into her again. And she's basically like, no, fuck off. Get out of here. Come on.
You friggin' Smurf.
Yeah, and she calls her a Smurf. And
another
she does
topical
have on
reference.
A lot of blue denim.
Yeah.
What?
Another topical reference. Got to keep those pop things
Smurfs,
coming.
That was very hot and very blue in the 80s. And so then Joe once again lays into her and insults her 100% with reason.
Yeah.
You're the little fucking thief, bitch. And I don't know if Joe is aware that she's been getting friendlier with the others. One hopes not. You almost wish Joe would have said, and hey, I don't know what kind of a scam you're pulling that you got my friends to take you to the movies the other night. But I've told them they are not to do that again. Like, I would have loved it if Joe continued to really
Sure.
That, no, you are not going to make your way into this family.
And I don't appreciate the fact that they went to the movie theater the night before and didn't realize that The Lords of Discipline is a movie that was probably... Probably in the sixplex that they went into, or at least a poster would be up somewhere or another. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, instead they went to Return of the Jedi, probably. I would have loved it if they had said what movie they saw, but well, we can't have everything.
And then we could turn this into another podcast about Return of the Jedi, but we'll do that another time.
Oh, no, there's another 5-hour, digression here right there. So Joe leaves, and that leaves Kelly alone with Blair. And this is the part where little David was not fucking having it.
Oh, man.
And I still am not having it. Where Kelly suddenly turns on Blair and is like, I want to talk to you. It's business. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she says, the Lords of Discipline. I'm one of their old ladies, and we need protection money. $50 a week, and all of the vandalism stops.
Mm-hmm.
And Blair is like, what? That is ridiculous. I'm calling the police. And Kelly throws one of the jars of, I don't know if it's pickles or relish or whatever.
Pickle relish. Let's just cut
pickle
the
relish.
There.
Hollandaise sauce. It is a, I believe I'm pretty sure, James, it's a gourmet food. That's all I can tell you. And she throws it on the floor, shatters, smashes a jar of merchandise.
Yep.
And says, hand me over the cash right now, or the next one is going through the window. And Blair, frightened, and rightfully so, this bitch threw something on the floor. Blair goes into the register, pulls out the $50 and hands it to her. And out Kelly goes, and Blair is justifiably freaked out.
Oh my God.
And then we go to commercial.
And it better be, she leaves saying, you got to keep it coming, or else we're going to install some air conditioning.
That's right.
Which means break out all your windows. And next time, I'd like my service with a smile. And then leaves. I'm like, what a... See you next Tuesday. Are you allowed to say the word on this show?
No, I drop the C-bomb all the time. Right, yes, I say the cunt word a lot. Yes.
Okay, well, as long as we can say cunt. I'm just going to say that was the cuntiest cunt moves of all the cunt countries. Because golly. I mean, to
treat another woman like that.
Or anyone.
And to treat your elder.
So tonally different from so many other things. I mean, they've gotten pretty serious in the show before, but this is so tonally, oh my God, the sense of dread and menace is right there.
Yeah. And the fact that it's exactly, and the fact is it's like, and she should never have been there to begin with.
Joe was right all along.
Joe was right. And that's really the overarching thesis of this entire series is Joe is always right. Don't fucking ever doubt Joe. Her Bronx street smart spidey sense never is wrong.
Trust the tomboy, man. Trust the tomboy.
Yeah. So it's commercial time, James. When we are at commercial, you know this is where I like to get to know my guests and
Ooh.
introduce you to my tens of listeners and let them understand a little more about you.
Ah,
Now, you and I are acquainted because we have worked for many, many years together at wonderful Sleuth's Mystery Dinner
it's
Theater.
very true. Yes, located in beautiful downtown Orlando International Drive area in the shadow of a
Hmm.
giant wheel.
Yes, right next to the Orlando Eye.
I,
And we have worked there together off and on for many, many, many years.
it's very true.
And yes, indeed, as well as you, like I earlier mentioned, your amazingly talented wife,
Oh.
the wonderful Ginger Lee McDermott. But leave us, turn back the clock, James Honey,
Mm.
and let's take a little quick Mick tour. And he just shook his. He just shook your computer to make a.
Yes, that's what I was
That was
doing. Thank you. I'm
awesome.
glad.
That was awesome. That was it doesn't work as well for me. But let's talk a little bit about where about your past and how you got here. Where were you born?
Oh, well, I was born in beautiful downtown Newark, New Jersey.
Oh,
Actually Jersey City, New Jersey. I always get that wrong because I was very young at the time. But
yeah.
yeah, let me put this back over here. Jersey City. Uh, Grew up the first 10 years of my life in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And 1980, we moved back down to Florida. And from an very early age, I always had an interest in the arts in various and sundry ways. And
Mm-hmm.
uh,
And did you go to school? Did you go to the college
I did not.
for?
Okay, I did and I didn't.
Okay.
I went to plenty of colleges. I just didn't go. I didn't pay to go there. I just went.
You just went there to buy weed.
I
Oh
went there.
shit.
It's like I didn't. I no. I would actually. It was too expensive. I would.
Oh, okay.
It's much less expensive at high schools. So you not really. Oh, actually, it is less expensive at high schools, but I didn't know
So
any
you
high
don't
school.
have a degree. You didn't study.
I did study, but I didn't. I didn't get a degree. No, I
Okay.
went right into the School of Hard Knocks when I finished high school. Actually, I didn't do a traditional high school thing at all in the sense that I stopped going to high school about 3 months out and took my GED.
Oh, wow.
And it's worth mentioning this because I was working for a living at that point, and I got in 1988. I got the highest GED score on record
Wow.
because I was a gifted student all the way up to the end of my high school career. I just had it with
Wow.
the system, and I was full of piss and vinegar. And I went, "Screw you! I'm taking my GED." Got the highest recorded score, which came with a a little stipend of a scholarship to go to Broward Community College. So I used all of
Oh,
that money for theater classes. So I took
that's great.
theater history, theater appreciation, acting, and I burned all of those credits through.
So then did
And
you start auditioning for theme parks and
I
attractions when
ve-
you finished your schooling?
I very much did. Well, as it turned out, had to learn to hustle very quickly because this was the latter half of 1989. I got the scholarship award and started using it for that. And I was auditioning for things in South Florida that people were very kind. I didn't get cast in anything, but I learned a lot
Mm-hmm.
about what some auditioning processes were. And then I heard that there was this studio opening up in Orlando called Universal Studios, and I went, "Oh my God, Hollywood's coming to me! This is going to be great!" And I drove up,
Mm-hmm.
and they had an open house, and I went to it, and I got hired in what was then called show support, which was just
Mm-hmm.
being a basically an usher for all of the actual shows on Universal property. They hire
Oh, okay.
me. It's February at that point, or early March of 1990. I get hired, and now I have to, and the place isn't open yet. The place wasn't open.
Yeah.
So, but I got to show up for work. So, Monday through Friday, I'm in Orlando renting a place. And on the weekends, luckily, my classes were on Saturdays and Sundays. So, I drove back to South Florida
Oh.
to finish my classes. And
Oh, so you were double dipping. You were working and studying at the same. That's awesome.
from March until May when I graduated or at least I got my 9 credits. from
Hmm.
those classes. And luckily, it ended then because in May we were on the drive up to grand opening of June 7th, 1990, and that's
Wow.
and then I started. There were so many folks that were already very educated in theater departments or the theater in and around the Orlando area. Realized very
Hmm.
quickly how rich and growing and challenging and yet traditional things were. At least at
Yeah.
that time, with the Shakespeare in the Park and the theater downtown, the Fringe Festival was about to begin.
That's right. The
Uh,
Fringe was a new thing, and it's still going. And
I
now, did you work at all with SAC? Was SAC at all a thing?
it SAC became was just becoming a thing in 1991 as well. They were just founding themselves. I did not
Hmm.
get involved with them then. I came to them very much later in the late 90s,
Hmm.
early
But you
2000s.
did work with them as
I
far as
was
you have.
invited to play with them on a couple of nights on a trial basis. I did a couple of their late night show or their night shows.
Okay.
If anything, I got most of my improvisational training at
Hmm.
Sleuths.
Oh, that's that's a place. That's absolutely.
As it turned out, I was working with a lot of folks at the Hitchcock show, God rest its soul,
Oh,
at
yes.
Universal, and most of those guys were working over at Sleuths. Said, "Come on out."
So
And
you learned a lot of your skills by doing.
I got thrown in the deep
I mean, you
end.
did study,
Oh yeah.
but you did a lot of it by doing, as many of us also have. And you've also gotten into directing and writing and
I my major
launching your own sketch show.
Thank you. Yes, that's where I really cut my teeth was learning it, getting thrown in the deep end of sleuths and being on the butt end of a lot of jokes until I could figure out how to stand on my own. And uh, I just kept learning and learning by doing as much as I could, and auditioned
Hmm.
around. Good old blessed long lost Civic Theater became a very big influence on me as well.
Oh,
And
yeah.
continuing, I always have been a voracious reader and got
Hmm.
plenty of books and watched shows and did try to live and breathe the grease paint as much as humanly possible just to absorb.
Hmm.
And I was very lucky to be around so many talented people, like too long a list to put here.
Yeah.
But
Same here. I am nothing without the community that made me and helped me to get to where I was able to stand on my own and be castable and have a competent skill set.
mhm,
And that now there was also a brief time that I remember you and Ginger went off to Chicago
yes, we
and back. And am I correct that at that time you were working with Second City?
that's correct. That's where I got some of the most formalized training that I've ever gotten.
Hmm.
I brought all my culmination of experiences to them. Like, we gotta, if not now, when? Let's go to Chicago. It's got
Yeah.
Steppenwolf. It's got Chicago Shakes, and Second City is a mecca for me. So all in, all my chips on one mark. I'm going in Second City.
Yeah.
And I skipped all the regular programs, went right into the conservatory,
Uh huh.
and was trained by the artistic director from said conservatory for
Hmm.
most of my education there, and it was phenomenal, and learned a lot, and kept going out and doing stuff all around town, and having to work three jobs so that I could make that happen because it's even worse in Chicago. Where actors are
Yeah.
literally a dime a dozen. What we
It's
would make at Sleuths for one show, you would get a third of that at a dinner theater show in Chicago. So it
eek.
was not uncommon to just do you would work 5 nights a week for $20 a show.
Wow.
Uh,
And
this
how long were you guys there?
We were there for 8 years. I went through the director's program in Chicago as well, and that went really,
Hmm.
really well. And we just got to a point where it's a little nepotism. I mean, every town is.
Hmm. Oh
Everybody,
God, yeah.
like, let's go back to where family is, and we can always come and just do some work in Chicago and go back and forth. So
The
we did.
community here is, I've spoken and sung its praises so many times. We are so lucky to have such a rich, vibrant, well stocked, and supportive community here. I can't imagine living or trying to work anywhere else. I hope I don't have to.
Right?
Well, James, as a really super gifted improvisational actor,
Thank you.
as well as an actor, and director and writer, we both have had the distinction of working on sleuth shows and writing scripts for them as well. And I always love whenever we perform together. I love when we just chit chat or hang out in the green room. I am so thrilled to have you here on the show. Thank you for making the time.
Oh, my pleasure.
But James,
yes,
enough about you.
Damn right.
We have to get back to the facts of life and what is going to happen with this conundrum with this little fucking bitch who just threatened our Blair Warner.
That bitch. Only we can threaten Blair Warner, not that bitch.
Exactly. So we start, they're all in the living room, and Blair is recounting. She is saying, Kelly said if we don't pay her $50 a week, that we won't have protection. And Joe
They're
was
going to
like,
repair the air conditioning, she says.
Yeah,
incorrectly. What, you don't know street talk?
And there's also a line, Mrs. Garrett, looking straight ahead, with one of her words of wisdom says, I know poverty is hard, but still you don't steal.
Yeah. Bravo.
And
there's the Garrett voice.
Really, there's the Milwaukee, the Wisconsin is strong in this one, where she says, poverty with a real hard R is hard. And she says, but still, you don't steal.
You don't steal,
You
honey.
don't steal.
You don't steal.
You don't steal.
And then very subtly behind her head, there's a little star that goes by. The more you know.
Exactly. Is that the lesson? Poverty is hard, but don't steal. Thumbs up. Da 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 da. Yep. So,
but we don't end the episode there because, why would you?
No, of course not. So Mrs. Garrett says, I'm going to go call the police, and she goes in the other room. Joe is like, really? I'm going to track her down myself and get the money back with interest. And did you notice, James, what she uses, what her big tracking down secret device was?
The phone book.
The white pages.
Yep.
Dum, dum, dum.
Damn, see, kids, you don't know. You don't know.
Yep.
There were free resources delivered to your house multiple times a year.
They weren't just for short people to sit on to make them taller.
Or for strong people to tear in half to impress the lady.
Or to cut up with a brand new Ginsu knife you bought from the television.
Ooh, and a can right after.
Because you need to cut cans in half. That's an important skill that you use.
I can't go a week.
Yeah. So then we go from this to the next scene. And this is for 1980s, I believe it is a middle to upper class apartment. Mm-hmm. It's a very sitcom set, but it is clearly not a slum.
No.
And there's some weird 1970s funk music playing. I don't know what the fuck the deal is with that. I don't know what that was
at all.
It's very 70s, but it was loud.
It was clear. Well, whatever it was, I'll tell you, it was free for the show to put on.
It was by my favorite artist, Public Domain.
And now Kelly's wearing a sort of proto mall outfit with the denim skirt
and a blouse. And definitely not the way she looks, the way we typically see her with her tougher garb and her blue jeans and stuff like that. And there's even an audience. Oh, when she comes out, it's like, oh, fuck, she's not living in a slum. This is her place.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Which is a double fuck you. I'm just going to say I was right there with that audience to have this appearance going. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What is this twist?
Like, on top of all that, is this going to be a poor little rich girl thing? Oh, you besta not. You besta not.
Oh, man.
But the thing is, Joe, it's like ding dong. She opens the door and it's Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And I am sorry. I have never more wanted to see Joe finally make good with punching somebody. Joe did punch Blair at the end of last season.
Yes.
And I hated it. But this one, I wanted to see physical. I wanted her to
call down the thunder.
Yeah. Exactly. You fuck with Thor, you get the hammer. So she says, oh, wow, nice place. Never seen a designer slum before.
Good line.
Yes. And so basically in Joe's confrontational, you better explain yourself. What the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
Thing, her response is, and the rest of the timbre of this whole scene suddenly changes gears, where Kelly is like, well, you called me a smurf, and you just call me names and like twerp, and you got me mad. And Joe is like, and Joe, I mean, shouting, screaming, Nancy McKeon. It was, I think I was at a half chub. I was really.
Bravo.
It was so awesome. She just screams, if you're mad at me, you take it up with me. And basically saying, you do not fuck with the place I work or with my friends.
Damn right.
God, I love Tough Joe.
She was just laying down the law, man.
And then Kelly comes back with this argument where it's suddenly like we're in a different show where we're listening to two sisters fighting with, you won't talk to me. You just call me names and tell me to take off. And And Joe's like, bitch, you were stealing shit 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks ago, you were trying to grift candy from trick-or-treaters. Anyway.
And now you're busting up and taking money and still give me the damn dough.
Yeah. And Kelly presents this as though this is some type of a valid justification for what has happened.
Yeah.
And so Joe is like, give me back the fucking money. I'm paraphrasing. And Joe holds out her hand like, fork it over, bitch. Mm-hmm. And Kelly has the audacity.
Little cunt.
Oh, and what does she do? You talk.
She puts it on the table. She goes right past her hand and puts it on the coffee table in front of her.
Doesn't even put it in the hand, you little son of a bitch, bitchy McBitch-a-lot. Fuck, I hate you.
Yes. Oh, I'm getting agitated myself over here. Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe leaves her with the warning.
Yeah, so Joe picks up the money and she says, remember, if you even think about coming into the store again, you can forget about breathing.
Another great line.
She fucking means it.
Damn right she
I'm
does.
like, yes. And this is the point where we should have never, ever seen Kelly ever again. That should have been the last time.
Yeah, I would have been fine with it.
So then the next scene, we go back to the store. And while we're in the store, who comes in the front door, James?
It's Kelly.
The one who literally had her life threatened. Don't you
beats
ever
before. Yeah.
Fucking
but it
come
gives,
back.
I excuse this for comedic dramatic license because the minute she walks in the door that Joe gets to deliver is like, hey, you're standing in the store and you're breathing. One of those things has got to stop.
Yes. It's great. Yes. And I'm like, make it happen. I want to see it. And I will applaud. Her outfit is really 80s-tastic. Mm-hmm. We're talking the high-waisted jeans, but the short, not longer than capri length, but not full length. It was that weird length. She's got on these burgundy boots. She's dressed more like her, clearly not in the costume of the tough chick she was trying to pretend to be.
Yeah.
The baggy, long denim panel jacket with the puffy, rolled-up sleeves.
It's a proto-mall rat. That's what going to the mall wear. It's kicky and casual, yet very fashionable.
Yeah. And in response to Joe telling her, I'm about to make good on the threat that I very clearly stated to you, she turns and says, Mrs. Garrett, are you going to let her threaten me like that?
Mrs. Garrett says, well, why not? She's really good at it. Or something to that effect.
Yes, you're right. Mrs. Garrett's like, no, I want to watch this bitch rip out your jugular. I'm going to grind up your fucking bones in the sausages I should not be making
be making. But, Oktoberfest is coming up, so we should, because it's all year long. For the
It was bratwurst season. But the thing is that she then comes out with lines. The writing just goes into such this, again, we're in this sort of like spoiled sibling snippety talk. You guys aren't giving me a chance.
Just you tell 7 to 9 lies, and then you don't give me a chance to explain myself. What? No.
Blair does have a great line. Lisa Welch's comedic timing is so perfect. Blair walks up to her, head held high, goes right up to her and says, I'm not afraid of you. anymore.
Yes.
And then walks away from her. It's beautiful.
And it closes their arc together. That's what I needed
It's
too.
lovely.
But,
And perfect comic timing. I love Lisa Welcho.
now
But then, you guys aren't giving me a chance. I gave the money back. Can't we start over? And Mrs. Garrett, doing that low, screamy talk of hers. Why? You've been nothing but trouble. You lied. You broke shit. You extorted money. And it's like, girl. But, I mean, and then she says, Kelly says, but what am I supposed to do? My parents are always out and I'm stuck alone in that apartment. I just wanted to have a place to hang out. And Mrs. Garrett softens.
See, okay, this is where I got to put this in here. Okay, Facts of Life generally deals with some kind of societal ill or some kind of interpersonal dynamic concern. That's what
Or a lesson to be learned.
That's the topic of the week. I get it. That's the dynamic. This is the covenant under which we are watching the show with you. And then what the fuck problem is this? What in the fuck? How are you possibly going to garner any sympathy for fucking tired, bored teenage girl from upper middle
poor
class?
Poor little rich girl. Poor little latchkey rich kid. Oh, that poor thing.
Is a fucking compulsorily serial liar that isn't enough that it's just a blathering of lie, resorts to actual stealing and breaking shit and threatening
and extorting
people.
Money. I mean, literally committing crimes. These are literal crimes.
Yes. How rampant was this in the 80s that we needed to talk about? Is it because of Mazes and Monsters? Is that it? Is it because it was such a problem that people are playing role-playing games and they turn into them, and they just watch some
It's the satanic panic. Yeah.
God.
No, you're right. You're so right that it's like the lesson of this is don't be a fucking stupid adult when a lying piece of shit child comes into your life, and let them in your life. Or I'm all for second chances. I'm all for, but these infractions are far too serious.
But
far too serious.
Okay, but this is where the turn comes when she's talking to Joe for me. That I have no other excuse for and would not abide anything except for her explanation as to how Joe is her hero.
Yes. She does say that, when Joe used to work at the bike shop, that she watched her and noticed her. And, of course, there is this little touch of, and I said I want to grow up to be a lesbian just like you.
It's totally it. That's it. She's in love with her and doesn't know how to deal or process with those things, so she goes off of completely dumb bourgeois stereotypes to pretend to be a thug, to ingratiate herself to the thing that she has unexplained affection and drawing sexual power from. That I buy. That
you buy. And Mrs. Garrett says, I'm not running a home and I'm not a parole officer. And she says, I won't steal from you anymore. And Mrs. Garrett says, do you promise? And Kelly even says, I'm gathering that a promise is a big deal for you. Like if I say it's like if I say yes, I'm gonna have to mean it, right?
Yep, that's all it is.
It's like, fuck yes, bitch. Yeah. She's about to give you almost have your foot back in the door. And we get Mrs. Garrett. Well, you never tried telling us the truth. How do you know how we would have reacted? If you want my friendship, you're going to have to earn it. And stop lying. Give people a chance to get to know you. Maybe they'll like you for who you are. Yeah. You know what also helps? Don't throw shit on the floor.
Yeah.
Don't deface people's property. Don't steal money. And don't threaten people.
And that's just
with violence.
That's what I'm going to go with. Actions speak louder than fucking words, cunt!
Yeah.
Stop breaking shit! Stop taking a broken glass, metaphorically picking up broken glass and holding it to Blair until she takes money out of the register.
Oh my God. It was, It's like that. And here's the other thing I'm going to add. But just to wrap this up,
Yeah.
the episode ends with Joe, with her actually saying, Joe, I look up to you. And Joe being like, Joe softening and saying, well, okay, I'll give you another chance too. And then Kelly grabs her arm and jumps and down and tugs like, oh my God, really? Thank you, thank you. And then we get the punchline of the episode. Okay. I think I liked you better when I hated you.
Freeze. And
freeze, jump in the air, punch fist.
And replay music and show scenes from the previous half hour.
Yeah, I mean, there's that.
Damn it.
But here's another writing issue of all this, of all these complaints of how enraged. I'm so happy you are as enraged as I am.
I really am.
About this. But of all the ridiculous cases she was making for herself that, to me, should have elicited 0.0 sympathy, at no point in this entire episode do the words I'm sorry come out of her mouth.
I feel like this is, it has to be, you have to lay the fucking blame on the writers here, man, that they just,
totally.
They had
It's a writing problem.
If all this shit happens and she drops all this info on Joe about what her motivations and secret things were and how much she wanted to be in.
Licking the cooter, yes.
I made a bunch of mistakes and I'm sorry, and then leaves because it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
Then I wouldn't mind it if she shows up later in another episode or whatever. Then because now bridges can be built because she chose to do the right thing. But that's not what happened.
Right. And here's the other thing. Joe came in with a dented trash can earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That did it. What would have been great is if she showed up,
fixed it
with a jar of pickle relish and a full brand new trash can.
And a can of paint to fix
and a can of paint to cover up the graffiti. To have her say, I am here to make good and fix and correct what I did. That would have gone leaps and bounds and miles for them to be like you said, actions speak louder than words. She's just whining. So, James, before we end our time together here, you know that I always like to end the episodes with asking my guest to name a classic commercial, throw out any type of a commercial or a jingle, maybe from your childhood or just out of your brain place.
One that I always go to, which because I was always super proud of it because it helped me process things as a child. And I'm sure other people have chosen this commercial as well. But My Baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR. My Baloney has a second name. It's MAYER. MAYER.
MAYER.
See, it didn't stick, but it helped me at the time. but I still can, and I have to sing the song if I'm ever going to spell baloney.
Do it.
BOLOGNA.
Yeah. And that commercial ran forever. Like it went away and then it came back because it is just like adorable little boy sitting on a dock with a fishing pole. And it's just so, it is so simple and so unplugged. He's singing live on the set.
Yeah. So and his little fishing pole, which is just a string, if I remember, a string attached to a stick.
Yeah. And then it just cuts back to him going, how's that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
And I could relate.
Whatever happened to that kid? I have to look that up and see what happened to him.
Nobody else has done that commercial? Are you kidding me? In 80 episodes?
No, I don't believe they have. I do not believe so. I've had duplicates, and that one I don't think has come up at all.
Yay me!
If it has, I'm already forgetting.
Oh, fair
James,
enough.
My darling, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It is so great to see your face while we're still not out and about completely.
Right. And thank you so much for being such a kind host. And I had a blast. This is so much fun. And I could probably talk for 3 more hours about a half-hour program with you.
I have no idea what that's like. Yes. So we will have to do this again sometime. But until that, smooches and goodbye.
Thank you, love. Bye.
And there you have it. That was James Honey. Just a great guy, a great talent, and I'm so glad I got him on the show, and I can't wait to have him back. Next week, I'm going to be watching Season 5, Episode 10, Store Games, and I'm going to have another very special guest, Mr. Cole NeSmith, who is the man behind the Creative City project that produces Immerse, a huge interactive art festival in downtown Orlando every single year. So, check out the links in the show notes and at the show's webpage, where you can see the episode for free at dailymotion.com. That's all, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this week's show. And remember, the facts of life are all about you. Let's Face the Facts was produced, written, hosted, and edited by me, David Almeida. My theme song was beautifully arranged and recorded by Ned Wilkinson. Our website is facethefactspod.com. You have to drop the let's. And that's where you can find extra pictures, video, and audio extras from the digital cutting room floor. Follow the show on social media. We're everywhere under the handle Face the Facts Pod. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/FaceTheFactsPod. And don't forget, go to your favorite podcatchers and subscribe, rate, and review. Tune in again next week for another thrilling episode of Let's Face the Facts.